punching Xi caricature in the face, unofficial Air Force badge in high demand in Taiwan. China reports the world's first human death from H3N8 bird flu. Senator, China is on a fast track to reach maritime supremacy over the U.S. 2 Chinese students mock Hiroshima atomic bomb victims, causing public outrage. Rare compromise, China reins in no-fly zone plan after Taiwan's complaint.
The patch showing a Formosan black bear punching Winnie the Pooh, a caricature of the Chinese leader Xi Jinping, has become a viral symbol of Taiwan's defiance against Beijing's military threats. Some Taiwanese Air Force pilots have been wearing the patch on their uniforms. The patch also has the word scramble, referring to the frequent missions that Taiwan's pilots have to perform to intercept Chinese aircraft that entered the island's air defense identification zone. Sue, the patch designer and owner of Wingspan Goods Shop that sells the patch, said, "I wanted to boost the morale of our troops through designing this patch." The patch has sparked a surge of demand from military and civilian customers who see it as a means of expressing their support for Taiwan's sovereignty and democracy. On Monday, Taiwan's de facto embassy in the United States tweeted, "Where can we get a patch like that? Guaranteed to be bestsellers." One social media user said, "It's amazing. It's the happiest thing in recent days." Many Taiwanese people have expressed their support for the badges and admiration for the pilots wearing them. "Wear this to go through Chinese customs," one user joked on Facebook. Another Facebook user said, "It's so famous that my friends on the other side of the Pacific are asking me about this." Taiwan's Air Force said it did not particularly encourage its members to wear the patch, but it would not stop them if it boosted their morale. China, which claims Taiwan is its territory and has never ruled out using force to take it, has stepped up its military drills around the island in recent days. The Chinese Communist Party, CCP, has also warned that Taiwan's ties with the United States, its main ally and arms supplier, could endanger peace and stability in the region. Taiwan's President Tsing Ing-wen, who returned from a brief visit to the United States last week, has rejected the CCP's claims and said only Taiwan's people could decide their future. Winnie the Pooh is a sensitive topic in China, where internet users have often used the fictional bear to mock Xi Jinping. As a result, Chinese censors have banned images and references to Winnie the Pooh on social media platforms and online games. The endangered Formosan black bear is a native species of Taiwan and represents a symbol of its unique identity and culture. Taiwan is also known internationally as Formosa.
The World Health Organization, or WHO, has reported the first person to die due to an influenza subtype mainly affecting animals rather than humans. In a report on April 11th, the organization said the person is a 56-year-old woman from Guangdong province. She was the third in the world to contract H3N8. The other cases also came from China. She became unwell on February 22, 2023, and she was hospitalized for severe pneumonia on March 3rd. She subsequently died on March 16th. WHO said the patient had several pre-existing health problems and had been in contact with live birds. The report said a wet market that the woman visited before getting sick was the likely source of her infection, and the virus was detected in samples from that market. People in close contact with the patients were not confirmed with the virus, suggesting that it is still incapable of transmitting between humans. WHO assessed, the risk of it spreading among humans at the national, regional, and international levels is considered to be low. It added that global surveillance is still essential to monitor any changes in the influenza viruses circulating among humans and animals, as they can evolve rapidly. The previous 2 cases of H3N8 human infection were reported respectively in April and May last year. The incident was mild for one patient and critical for the other. They both got infected from poultry with the virus through direct or indirect contact. H3N8 is a new strain of avian influenza, or bird flu, recently emerging in China. It is a very infectious virus that can cause disease and death in birds, mainly poultry. Outside of bird flu, the country has been battling an unusual resurgence of influenza since COVID-19 began to subside in February. U.S. Senator Marco Rubio, Florida, warned that China is on a fast track to surpass the U.S. in naval dominance. Rubio, vice chairman of the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, shared his view in an op-ed published in Defense News on April 11th. In the article, citing statistics from the U.S. Navy Secretary Carlos del Toro's comments to the Senate Committee on Appropriations. Rubio wrote that China is on course to have more than 440 ships in 5 years. In contrast, the U.S. Navy is on schedule to have 291. He reckoned, in other words, China is on a fast track to displace America as the world's dominant naval power. Rubio commented that although the U.S. has been aware of the situation, it stays woefully underprepared. After showing the importance of military resources in general, and naval power in particular, Rubio listed some cases in which China has demonstrated its ambition in the maritime military. According to China's 2015 Defense White Paper, the People's Liberation Army should concentrate on the maritime military struggle to further advance China's geopolitical goals. Beijing has also repeatedly challenged maritime law, advancing its illegitimate claims and obstructing the free movement of innocent parties in the South and East China Seas, with everything from fishing boats and artificial islands to warships and fighter jets. He said, "Too few people fully understand or appreciate the fact that our ships do more than defend allies and partners from invasion. They also guarantee freedom of navigation on the open seas." He added, "For decades, the U.S. Navy has eliminated piracy, prohibited extortion, and ensured that virtually every country on the planet has the ability to trade, and it has asked nothing in return. That will end if Beijing uses a more powerful force to overturn our maritime supremacy." The article states that one of China's 13 naval shipyards has more productive capacity than the combined output of the 7 U.S. shipyards. He then criticized the Biden government for a Navy and Marine Corps budget in 2024 that is 2% less than the inflation rate. He blasted the Pentagon for diverting taxpayer funds from basic tasks like shipbuilding and spending them on obscure experiments conducted by third-party contractors under the guise of research and development. He urged the Biden administration to rearrange its priorities and accelerate U.S. shipbuilding. Recently, a video of 2 Chinese students studying in Japan has been circulated on the internet, in which they openly mocked the Hiroshima atomic bomb explosion victims. They not only aroused the outrage of netizens worldwide, but also caused the Hiroshima government to criticize and resolve to investigate the incident. The Chinese student who recorded this video is nicknamed Ping Ping. On March 17th, he and another Chinese student nicknamed Tong Ge went to the famous ramen shop Makodanya Hiroshimaman in Hiroshima for dinner. The ramen shop name means bomb house. Besides speaking their mind on the meal, their whole video is filled with satire about the historic Hiroshima atomic bombing event. For example, when eating the dish called bomb ramen, they said, "You guys need to come and eat once to commemorate. After all, this is a bomb house. There is no other bombing place than Hiroshima." They also mocked Hiroshima people, saying, "If I were a victim, I wouldn't understand why I was bombed." They also revealed they had received the Hiroshima Peace Culture Foundation scholarship, a special scholarship mainly granted to foreign students by the Hiroshima Local Public Welfare Fund. The scholarship recipients were invited to visit the Hiroshima Peace Memorial Museum. However, the 2 Chinese students said when they saw the victims' relics in the museum, they thought, the museum seemed to display children's clothing and other children's items intentionally. It can be said that they want to take advantage of people's pity for children. After the video was released, the cold-blooded words of the 2 Chinese students immediately angered Japanese and international netizens. Many criticized the students and even expressed their feelings to Japanese politicians. Taichi Mokuki, the Hiroshima city councilor, in a tweet on April 5th, cited the 2 Chinese students' video and said, "An unbearable video that ridicules the atomic bombing victims. Please check the content yourself." According to the translation, the students in the video have received a scholarship from the Hiroshima Peace Culture Foundation. "We will confirm the details early next week after the congressional election." Xiwang Jisheng cited some netizens, who said they sent a letter to the foundation where the 2 people received the scholarship, requesting the cancellation. A netizen said, "For the poor people who died during the bombing, these Chinese students' words are hurtful." Another person said, "According to their latest video, these 2 seem to have graduated and returned to China. Therefore, they dared to talk in such a disrespectful manner." Some netizens suggested that such international students should be expelled to their homeland.
Taiwan claimed that China scaled back plans for a no-fly zone surrounding the island after it raised concerns about hazards to flight safety. As reported by Bloomberg, just 2 days after the People's Liberation Army, PLA, halted significant military drills near Taiwan, the Transportation Ministry in Taipei said in a statement that China initially intended to impose the zone for aerospace activities from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. over 3 days next week, April 16th through the 18th. After Taiwan complained to Beijing about a serious impact on aviation management in the region, seriously undermining the rights and safety of air traffic, the ministry claimed Beijing later informed Taipei that the zone would only be in effect for over 27 minutes on April 16th morning. The ministry considered China's plans unprecedented internationally. A no-fly zone is yet to be announced publicly by Beijing. Amid simmering cross-strait tensions, it represents a rare public sign of compromise between Taipei and Beijing. To express its displeasure with President Tsai Ing-wen meeting House Speaker Kevin McCarthy in the U.S. last week, the PLA recently conducted 3 days of military drills surrounding Taiwan. Wen Ti-sung, a specialist on Taiwanese politics and cross-strait relations at Australian National University, said, "It's certainly unusual that Beijing revised its plans after a complaint from Taiwan." According to Sung, the plan-changing move of Beijing might indicate coordination problems between different parts of the regime. Sung added, the aviation agency may have called for a more extended no-fly zone period out of technical necessity, but economic and foreign affairs portfolios subsequently scaled it back to minimize regional pushback.